We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
You can now listen to The Alex Jones Show live on the free TuneIn Radio app, featuring over 100,000 real radio stations, over 4 million podcasts streaming live from every continent, offering unprecedented access to listen to anything, anywhere. TuneIn lets you listen to over 100,000 real radio stations and more than 4 million podcasts from every continent, 200,000 mobile downloads per day. Available on iPhone, iPad, Android tablets, Windows 8, BlackBerry, Amazon Kindle. Available in over 200 branded products with millions of devices sold worldwide, including Samsung Smart TV, Roku, Sonos, Sony PlayStation, Amazon Echo, Panasonic Viera TV, Logitech Squeezebox. TuneIn brings streaming radio to cars, including GM, Ford, BMW, Tesla, Mercedes-Benz, Volvo, Nissan, Fiat, and more.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds. Is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
This is Ajit Pai, the FCC commissioner, on what the FCC chairman and Obama and the Republican leadership against the Republican majority and the Democrats are doing. Again, it's the insiders, the people at the top who want the open borders, the global government, the gun control, the wars. It is the scum, the committee chairman. They are the problem. They are the ones run by the foreign banks, running this country into the ground. Let's go to that clip.
Why is that regulation book so thick?
Well, that's part of the reason why I want this to be released to the American public. I think if you told the average American that the FCC is going to propose regulations for the internet economy that are 332 pages long, and you're not going to be able to see it until the FCC adopts it, they would think that's the wrong way to go. And part of the reason why I've been so outspoken about this plan is that it's very intrusive. Unfortunately, under the FCC's rules, I can't describe with any particularity what's in the document. And so I think that we at the FCC should be as open and transparent as the internet itself and let the American people see for themselves what it is that we're talking about.
Wait a minute, you can't tell me what's in the document?
That is correct. Stamped on the front is an internal, use-only, non-public moniker. And unless I'm authorized by the chairman to disclose this, I can't let you or any of the other millions of Americans who are interested in the internet economy know what the FCC is going to do.
Why?
Until we vote on February 26th, this document will not be released.
Why?
Well, that's been the traditional practice, believe it or not, of the FCC. The chairman circulates a proposal 3 weeks before we vote on it. It's kept secret within the walls of the FCC, and only after we vote on it and staff has a chance to make changes does the public get to see what exactly it is that we voted on.
So
and
technically,
especially on...
What can viewers, if viewers are going to call the FCC, what are you going to tell them if they don't know what's in the document? Can I tell them, don't pass this if I don't know what's in it?
Exactly.
That's exactly the problem, and that's part of the reason why I have been banging the drum in favor of releasing the document, and barring that, trying to educate the public as best I can within the rules.
Now, folks, the FCC commissioner actually runs the FCC, and he's saying it's horrible. So he's like the police chief. But then you've got the mayor who says it's a great idea, but don't let anybody see it. You've got the head of the board that's political saying, don't let the public see this. And then you got the guy that actually runs the FCC saying, here it is, it's secret with red tape. I know what's in it. It's really bad, but I'm not allowed to tell you. Well, we've had Senator Graham and Congressman Jones and others that have seen the 28 pages of the 9/11 report that's secret. And it just says our government stood down because Saudi Arabia was quarterbacking 9/11. See, inside job. Government knew, government stood down. I'm correct. I'm vindicated. Where are the apologies? Where? Where are they? They're nowhere. And let me tell all the neocons and fake right-wingers and fake liberals all over Fox, CNN, talk radio, you name it. When ISIS or Al-Qaeda does something bigger than 9/11, everybody who's got a brain knows our government built them up again and let them attack. And you're not going to get away with it this time. You understand? Good. Because everybody's going to know you've been accomplices in helping cover all this up. With your red herrings. Alex says there's no such thing as radical Islamicists. Alex doesn't. No, our government's giving them the weapons and protecting them. But again, it's tiny criminal groups at the top. You've even got the FCC commissioner saying it's bad. The former head of the FCC saying it's bad. The former chairman, Powell. Let's play that clip right now. Here's a clip of Powell.
The next phase of this long-tortured net neutrality event will be likely litigation. So we're going to wait to see what the FCC order actually says and does. But we think it's very likely that there'll likely be an appeal.
So one of the things we've all talked about is what an appeal looks like and how long it takes and what that does to investment in during that period. We've heard from the CEO of AT&T who said that he plans to pull back. Can you speak to that broadly from all of your constituents you've been talking to?
Sure. I think to put it briefly, litigation with FCC appeals is a pretty long, drawn-out process. I would predict that it's at least 2 and up to 5 years before the rules are fully and finally settled. The original classification decision went all the way to the Supreme Court and took a good 3.5, 4 years. If you look at the current set of net neutrality rules in 2010, it's 2015, and we still don't have a new set, and this debate has gone on for a decade. It's one of the reasons we believe this issue is ripe for Congress to fix,
exactly,
which would moot all the litigation. And of course, from an investment standpoint, companies have to understand what the settled nature of the law is. They've understood the law for 15 years, and suddenly that's going to be radically transformed to a new style of regulation,
that's right,
which is going to prompt a whole myriad of questions that are going to await answers, and I think that's going to have an impact on investment choices.
And the special interest, the big telecoms, you can bet your bottom dollar when it comes out, have written this, and it is going to be one-sided to consolidate power, and the FCC, a very totalitarian organization, at least historically, very anti-free speech organization, is going to now have jurisdiction over all telecommunications. That means, well, you notice it's already anything that's a broadcast device, like a smart meter, your clock radio, it's got the FCC sticker on the back. This is just going to turn it loose into everything. And it'll take years for them to really take it over, but they will. They already tried with Obama about 5 years ago saying, oh, all broadband and free Wi-Fi that government's going to give you, it will be censored and it will be under government control. Well, already in London and Germany and other places, you go get on the, quote, free mass transit Wi-Fi that's paid for by taxpayers. It's not free. And it tells you in a message, everything's being monitored, everything's being tracked. So there's no freedom on this government web, but it's free. But we pay for it. Not true. And, oh, by the way, FCC regulation is going to be over it here domestically, just like they have similar systems in Europe. So they provide it, quote, free, so they can then claim jurisdiction over the entire thing. Republican FCC commissioners asked Wheeler to delay net neutrality vote, release proposal. This just came out a few minutes ago. We respectfully request the FCC leadership immediately release the 332 pages. That's the skull and bones number. Isn't that funny? Internet regulation plan publicly and allow the American people a reasonable period of not less than 30 days to carefully study it. Remember, Obama had a promise that he would have 7 days to read the bills. Republican commissioners, Mr. Pai and O'Reilly, said in a statement Monday that after the commission reviews the specific input it receives from the American public and makes any modifications the plan is appropriate, we could proceed to a final vote. See, that's even a red herring. You don't want the FCC over the internet. It was designed by DARPA and the Pentagon to survive a nuclear attack. It's designed to not be controlled and be organic. It's already basically run between three big groups. Google's the top of it, then the NSA. So they already pretty much run it. They just want to make this announcement to everybody. The FCC received more than 4 million comments on its hashtag open internet during past year that helped shape proposal. It's time to act. Does anyone really believe that they're actually listening to that input? They're listening to the input of the globalists. Hillary Clinton endorses FCC's Title II designation yesterday. She's out lobbying for it. I mean, that ought to tell you everything you need to know. The Brian Williams of politics, Hillary Clinton. FCC chair refuses to testify before Congress ahead of net neutrality. Maybe they'll fly him out of the country. FCC net neutrality rules clear hurdle as Republicans concede to Obama. Senior Republicans conceded on Tuesday to the grueling fight with President Obama over the regulation of internet service appears over, with President and an army of internet activists victorious, an army of Democratic Party moron wonks going, we're going to free the internet, we are, yeah. Oh, really? Well, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, the EFF, just came out and said this is an absolutely horrible deal. And Republicans on Capitol Hill, who once criticized the plan as Obamacare for the internet, now say they're unlikely to pass a legislative response that would undo perhaps the biggest policy shift since the internet became a reality. Yeah, since Al Gore invented it, and he also, there's a mystery who did the pyramids. There's actually not. It was Al Gore. He has a teleportation device and an army of flying saucers, and he went back at the time and built it. Did Obi-Wan ever told you who your father is? He told me enough. He told me you killed him. No. Al Gore is your father. That's ridiculous. Oh, my goodness. And again, the larger question is, why is it all moving right now in unison? Why are the globalists moving, not just here, but worldwide? That's my big question. Net neutrality, the future of freedom on the internet. It's all to be discussed here. Wayne Madsen joins us for 30 minutes, but I'm going to start taking calls here in just a few minutes. The toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231 is the toll-free number. 800-259-9231. I'm sitting here like the Colossus straddling two different worlds. Old dinosaur AM and FM that is the original proto-independent media, because it was the only independent media in this country for decades. True grassroots electronic soapbox where you could be heard. Wasn't perfect, but it was the real McCoy. That's why it merges so well with the internet and freedom. Old dinosaur-controlled corporate press is dying. As we move into this basically government and corporate propaganda, they're going to want to shut down free independent voices like InfoWars, Drudge, WorldNet Daily, and you. The answer is more of us have websites, more of us be involved on globalist platforms, that we just take over the system, they'll never be able to stop us. That's why it's important for all of you to be online activists. Promoting whether it's sovereignty, family rights, medical rights to not be forcibly inoculated. You pick your issue or a raft of issues, get involved.